Hello, good morning. Good morning slash afternoon. We're trying something a little different today. There is the loudest work happening out there, and I don't know if you can hear it. Hopefully, you cannot. But I literally have my oh, it's so loud. My noise canceling little earplugs, plus headphones, noise canceling, plus music playing. We're gonna see if this works. This might be too distracting having noise music playing, but when I tell you it is so loud, and the thing is, this isn't even the most convenient. Can I take a moment to just complain with y'all before we get in today? So they're doing all this hydro updates and stuff in this whole neighborhood. That's fine. That's essential. We need that. But next Wednesday, they are turning our power off in the entire building from 8:30 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. for 12 hours. I have to find somewhere to go with my father, who is, has a lot of needs, and we have to go find somewhere to go for 12 hours. But here's the thing, it's happening again next Monday after that. Oh my gosh. So it's been interesting. I ended up clearing off my schedule because I didn't want to have the pressure of like having to be somewhere with privacy and a Wi-Fi connection. And of course, I'm messaging all my friends to be like, can I stay there? Are you in town? Da, da, da. Like, nothing is happening. We all live in Vancouver in tiny little places. Like, I got nowhere to go. What would you do? What would you do if you were being kicked out of your home for 12 hours? Because obviously we can't stay here. No power, no heat, right? Like, we can't just sit here in the freezing cold and dark. It's cold. What would you do? What would you do? Oh, you can't hear. Oh, you can hear. Okay, you don't. Okay, good. I was like, oh no, here I am talking away. Oh, hang on one second. I forgot to update this. Who wants that stinky blue? We want 6181. There we go. What? 1A1. We want our pretty pink. We want our pretty pink color. Yes. Which one should we do? That one? Shh. I think I usually do this one. All right. I love it. So yeah, what would you do? What would you do? Yeah, turning up the power. Go to WeWork. Okay, but that's fine for me, but what about my dad? Right? Because I'm like, no problem. I can go sit at a friend's couch. I can go, but even that, WeWork, I'm going to sit there for 12 hours. But my dad, what do I do with my dad? Where do I send him? Where do I put him? There's nowhere to go. So we're going to drive out to the suburbs and visit some friends. And I'm going to probably sit in a co-working space out there. He's like, I might just bring a pillow and a blanket and sleep in the car. Like, literally, I don't know where we're going to go. I was like, we can get a hotel, but then you either have to check out by 11 or check in at 3. I'm like, what? Make it make sense. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We went to a hotel room, but I was like, okay, maybe we'll go. I'm so glad you tuned in to help me brainstorm this. Maybe we'll go the night before, and then we're not in a rush. But I'm like, but we check out by 11, and then we have 8.5 hours, 9.5 hours to figure out what to, right? Or we can go somewhere and putter around until 3, and then have a hotel room for 5 hours. What is it worth? 150, $300 to spend it for 3? It's just a thing. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. My dad too. They have nice sofa rooms. Honestly. And I might just do that. It might be like, just come on in and set up on your internet and play on your phone and play on the computer. Yeah, he'll most likely join me at a co-working space. But I'm actually not that upset. I mean, it's annoying for those of you who had to reschedule. It's a bit of an annoying thing. Luckily, I was able to get you in fairly quickly. But I'm kind of looking forward to the day of just like I'm just gonna putter on stuff. I'm like, I got like all day to just putter. Yeah, I know. Or 2 nights, okay, but like twice in a row, 2 days. Like that's a lot of. I'm going to say I'm cheap, I'm frugal. That's a lot of expense for me to bear for this inconvenience, but I might have to. This is very dramatic. It happened to me many times in the West End. It's not that long. Like you go somewhere for breakfast, dinner. That's exactly. I was like, we'll go somewhere for breakfast. We'll see some friends. We'll do some work. We'll go somewhere for dinner. We'll come back into the city, right? Because we're gonna leave the city because we have people we can go visit. I'm like, at least that kills 2 hours right there of driving back and forth. Yeah, coffee shop and leisurely. This is in Vancouver. I'm in Vancouver. And yeah, like Annabelle said, it happens all the time. It happened all the time in the West End when she was there. It's just city living. I was thinking about that this morning actually. As I was like, it's so loud, right? And like a couple years ago, we had a whole 9 months of insanely loud construction because they were literally doing demolition in the building. And it was just, oh, it was unbearable. It was so brutal. And I remember thinking like, oh, like, maybe I need to go live in the country somewhere. But then I thought, I kind of like that if there's an emergency, I'm 5 minutes from a hospital. Like it's literally a 5-minute drive or less. Like everything is here. I am a sucker for convenience. And so it's one of those trade-offs, right? It's like you got to think about the lifestyle you want, which is a great segue into what we're going to talk about today. But you got to think about the lifestyle you want and then do what you need to do to serve that lifestyle, which is why I pay insane cost of living prices to live in a city that I love because it's the city I love. Okay, friends. Thank you for the brainstorming. I honestly don't know why I didn't even think like, yeah, my dad could just sit in the co-working spaces with me on his computer. Like, I don't know why I didn't think he could also do that. So that's what we'll do. Compartmentalized thinking. Oh, Megan, what do you got for me? Speaking of travel, guess what? You got your first keynote speaking gig. It's all the way in California. This will be my first time flying alone. My ADHD brain is nervous. Oh my gosh. First of all, congratulations on the keynote. I'm so excited for you. And I'm excited for the audience that gets to listen to you. Heck yeah, congratulations. And everybody, throw your tips for traveling, especially solo traveling, into the chat. Megan, if you're open for that, throw your tips in. I'm trying to think what some of my tips are. I mean, the noise canceling or like the little earplugs are essential. And I usually will also just wear sunglasses. It just helps to like kind of take that edge off of the sensory overwhelm. Obviously, go early, give yourself lots of time. There's something kind of nice about solo traveling because I find there's less sensory input. I don't have to talk to someone or can like, oh, are you coming? Or okay, I'll wait when you go to the washroom. Like I don't have to, it's just me. So it reduces my stress and anxiety in a lot of ways. And I always just get there real early. I like sitting in airports and just working and hanging out, checking out some of the stores. So definitely the whole get early, the reduce the sensory, bring snacks, bring empty water bottles so you can fill it up when you get there. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm so excited for you. And I mean, when in doubt, ask for help. Okay, am I allowed to share the story? I'm going to share a story. Now, keep in mind, I'm from Canada, where certain substances are legal and very normal. It's just a part of life, right? And when I was in Australia, I had some little drops. It just, again, it helps me sleep. It helps me with anxiety. And I just like micro schmose these things. And I was like, oh, I have a lot extra. I'm not going to take it with me. Let me just dump it into my water and drink this. I greatly underestimated how hard that was going to hit me. And I remember when I went to the airport, I'm snorting. You have to print off your luggage labels, right? And stick it onto your suitcase. And I remember just walking up to the machine and just, I'm an avid traveler. I travel a lot. I'm just staring at the machine. I don't know what to do. I'm just staring at it. And then I very slowly am like, oh yeah, okay, I have to put my passport in. I have to do the thing. And somebody came over, they're like, do you want some help? And I'm like, yes. In my head, I'm like, can you tell that I'm completely out of it right now? Yes, please. And I think I was like, this is my first time. Oh my gosh. Don't make that mistake, please. Be careful on the way that we self-medicate. That was awkward. I mean, I had the best sleep ever on the plane. It was an embarrassing moment for me. Just, I felt like, I'm like, you're a proper adult, Linz. Like, get it together. Oh my God, guys, I'm like crying. My nose is running. Yeah, has anyone else ever done something like that? Also, sorry, don't mind. I've got hot cocoa. I know it makes it ugly, kind of. Don't mind the ugly film that makes on my cup. But has anybody else ever done something where you're just like, whoops, that didn't go the way I wanted it to? Oh, bring distractions with you. Yeah, pack light. And I was gonna say pack light. Pack light, bring distractions. A good fidget spinner is helpful. I think the biggest thing is tuning into what the friction points are going to be for you. For me, it's always sensory. So I'm always like, how can I calm the senses? For me, it's I might get overwhelmed and need more time to like figure out where I'm going. So I leave early. So it's just figuring out those friction points and then going, okay, how can I mitigate? How can I preemptively solve that? Right? Oh my gosh, you guys. You don't care about the gross the gross cup. It's so funny because that is like my flavor of neurodiversity is like everything grosses me out. And so there are certain things that I'm always and if we ever meet one-on-one, you'll often hear me say things like, will it bug you if I eat? Or because there's just things that gross me out. So I'm aware of like other people that might get grossed out. Oh my gosh, what is the grossest thing? This is a terrible thought. What is the thing that's like grossed you out the most while flying? You ever see those like videos, like TikToks and reels where people like take off their socks and shoes and put their feet up on in the car of the armrest in front of them, and like people's feet are like touching their arm. Have you ever experienced something just so gross? People flossing their teeth next to you, stuff like spraying out. What am I doing to myself? Why am I doing this to myself right now? Oh my gosh, you have a poster about flying with disability. Yes. So you aren't able to share direct links here, but you can certainly like put in your website and the name of the blog, and then we can go find it. And I could probably actually pull it up as well and share the link directly. It's kind of a weird bug that you can't share links, but if you give me the pathway, I can also find it and share the link. Oh my gosh. Oh, y'all, this is a great way to start their call. It's a great way to start the call. No, I would be taking that person out, right? Also, really quickly, last month for our live, I realized that my wrong mic was set up, so it was really echoey. I do have the right mic set up, but are you all hearing it okay where it's not too echoey today for you? Let me know. You always let me know if there's a sound issue or something. Savara, I used to be a flight attendant. You don't know the grossest stuff I've seen. I don't. Yeah, I kind of want to know, but also I don't. But I also kind of want to know. One of my, a couple of my friends are flight attendants, and so yeah, I hear some of the frustrating stories, the annoying stories. Yes, Amy, good point. You can also share it in the Rad Connectors Facebook group. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me that our group exists. Here's the Rad Connectors Facebook group. You can share the link to the blog there, friends, or person, whoever had the blog. I forget who it was. It was Thriving While Disabled. Thriving While Disabled. I'm so sorry. Please remind me your first name. I know you and I know your business. Please remind me your first name. Perfect. You're hearing me fine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me see if I missed any other comments, and then we'll get into the thing. Oh, what was this? Maybe my wife has your thing. The gross out thing. Oh my gosh. All right. Friction points for me are less sensory and more cognitive. Exactly. I don't know what I don't know. LOL. Yes, exactly. That's why I say leave early. Give yourself lots of time so you're not feeling pressured, and ask for help. People will help. Passengers will help. People like the staff will help. People will help you, right? Just ask for help. The other thing too is if there's any mobility needs, like you can ask for things like wheelchairs or getting the scooter thing to drive you. I've had that before when I've like thrown my back out. I asked them to let me board early because I couldn't stand in line with my backpack. I've gotten like when I had knee surgery, I've gotten the car, like what's it called? The little car thing to like drive me to my gate. So there are so many accessible things that are there for you. So just ask, right? Just ask. People are so helpful. People are so helpful. All right, let me just see if I missed anything else. Hang on. I think you guys have just been, the bringing a gummy. So that's something, it depends, because obviously if you're flying, like I don't know what the laws are in the US, so just be careful on that. But yeah, like sometimes I'll have just like a half of a dose just to like calm the anxiety, but it's not enough to have an impact on making me high, basically. Yes. Okay. All right. I don't think I missed anything. If I missed anything, please let me know. Yeah, Annabelle, be so early that you remove the pressure, things going wrong. Meditation. Yeah, I have like calming music playlist downloaded. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Okay. All right. Let's get into today. Oh, hang on. True. People like to help. Remember to make eye contact. Yes. If as much as you can. Hang on 1 second, friends. I have the wrong size in and they keep falling out. I need to get my bigger ones. Shove that into my ear. It's kind of nice listening to coffee shop music right now. Look, I'm at a coffee shop while we're talking. All right. Talk with that my post 2 disability can lead to boarding early. Exactly. Yeah. Like you don't have to have anything official. You can literally go up to the gate and say, these are the needs. Can I board early? And they're most likely going to be like, yes, of course. Right. Yeah. I mean, people want to help as long as, we're speaking in a way that is, respectful and kind. People will help, right? As long as we're not coming in, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but if you think of other people that come in that sort of entitled, you work for me, serve, as long as you're not coming in with that energy, right? People are generally really eager to help. Yeah. I love that. Okay. I love that. So many things. You have wheelchairs. Yeah. You got to skip the line if you can't walk. Yeah. So many available, what do you want to say? Accessibility support and aids. All right, friends, let's get into today's topic. I got some fun resources for us. I got some fun things for us to talk about. I am looking forward to hearing your experiences, your questions, your thoughts. But what I wanted to talk about was this idea of business life balance and how to avoid being swallowed whole by our businesses. First of all, let's just take a bit of a temperature check on that. Do you relate to that statement? Do you ever feel like your business is swallowing you whole? Or do you have a fear that in order to be successful, you have to give everything to your business? Let me know what your thoughts are first. Let's start there. And thank you very much for sharing the post in the Facebook group. That's perfect. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I know you guys, I know what this is behind. So I've asked you a question. I'm going to wait for you to respond. In the meantime, I'm going to show these statements here, these comments. So regards to flying, make sure your ID is current. Yeah, that's happened to me at the gate. Yeah, make sure that everything is current. What else have we got here for tips? Be aware that some airlines expect you to tip attendants if you get a wheelchair. Are you serious? I did not know that. That feels weird and a little exploitative of disabled people. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. How do y'all feel about that? Annabelle was swallowed and pat out before burnt out. Swallowed and what is your typo? Swallowed and I'm gonna say burnt out before Christmas. Yeah, I think that's common for a lot of people, especially the end of the year, right? Because you've just been going all year. You're trying to get all these things done before the year. It's also like there's a lot of like sales and events happening. I think that's really common. Yeah, they little tip as tip-based employees. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know that that's the same here in Canada. I've literally never, ever heard of that. That's so interesting. I'm gonna, I'm gonna go do a deep dive now. I'm gonna go read more about that and I want to hear the justification behind that. I think because the difference between Canada and the U.S. is we have, while it's not quite a livable minimum wage, it is a much higher, like I think double, sometimes triple in some places, minimum wage compared to the U.S. So the U.S. really counts on the people receiving services to pay the employee's wage, because they dramatically underpay them, and then they kind of pass the buck literally to us to subsidize wages instead of paying living wages. So maybe it's that, because I've literally never heard of that before. Usually here, if you're working in those types of jobs, they're going to be pretty decent jobs with pretty decent pay. But again, I don't know. I'm going to go do a deep dive. I could be 1,000,000% wrong. Yeah, it is kind of a weird feeling, isn't it? Yeah. 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 Messed up. Ugh. Okay, let me hear what you're saying here, Megan. Finally getting some balance in your business. For 4 years, my business has eaten my life whole, but finally I'm making time for my physical health. I have a workout streak of 16 days already. Fantastic. What are you doing for working out? Oh, wait, spat out. Oh, swallowed whole and spat out. Got it. Your business swallowed you and spat you back out. No, we don't want no more Annabelle. Or we've sucked all the juice out of Annabelle and we're done with the rest, which is something I say all the time. Your business will take all of your time, money, energy, creativity. If you let it. Our businesses are greedy, and they want all of us. And so to Megan's comment about if the first 4 years feeling that way, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say you're not going to work a lot in the beginning on your business, right? You're going to be working so much, especially if you also have another job or something else, right? That's bridging until your business can cover its own expenses, cover your expenses, right? So how do we actually build in buffers so that when we are working a lot, we are not getting to that point of burning out? And also, and this, I want to get into this right now, this idea of a lot of times when, especially if you have a service-based business, instead of building a business, you're actually building yourself a job. And we're going to talk more about that. Oh my gosh. And there's also a million more comments I missed. Yeah, feeling very messed up. Yeah, that it's messed up. Yeah, very exploitative, both the disabled folks and the people who provide the wheelchair services. Exactly. How about the companies just pay the wheelchair service employees a livable wage and not pass the buck on to the disabled person who oftentimes we know statistically is underpaid and undervalued and under everything, served and everything. I love how we just keep going back to the airlines. Yeah. Capitalism run amok. All right, I'm trying to move. Very ableist. Trying to move past this and get back to our topic today. We could talk about that forever. This is Sue, right? I created my membership, put all things in that portal. Now I have nothing spared to give as bonuses and gifts. Please advise. Okay, we're not talking about that today. This isn't the Q&A. Make sure that you come to our Hot Seat Business Coaching to ask your questions. Today we're talking about biz life balance and how not to be swallowed whole. All right, I'm trying to get past all the comments about the wheelchair because I want to get us moving forward. All right. So yeah, just remember, as a reminder, this isn't the Hot Seat Business Coaching. That happens the last Tuesday of the month. So make sure to go and save your seat for that. Put it in your calendar. You can access that through the ICK-FREE Sales membership. Otherwise, today we're going to be staying on topic. Hang on. You're killing me, y'all. Okay, good. I'm like, let me get to a comment about keep talking in the chat about the wheelchair stuff, but let's get talking on screen about the biz life balance. Okay, they're having well disabled. Biz life balance is off kilter still, partially because for the moment I'm just starting to recover from moving related stress, other people's health issues. Yeah, also the moving related stress is no joke. When I moved here 2.5 years ago to this place, no joke, it took me 2 weeks. I basically slept for 2 weeks. I don't know if it is just as I'm getting old. I don't know what it is, but I've never experienced a crash the way that I did moving here. Has anyone else had that? 2 weeks, I just slept. Slavar, I'm forcing myself to go to a friend's birthday party tomorrow. I'd rather work on my biz, but I know even though I'm not enjoying it now, it will be easy to get burned out. And that's such a great point, right? There are definitely things that we have to sacrifice in the beginning when we're building our business. There's social life is a bit of a sacrifice sometimes. There's things that As I say all the time, we don't make time. We can't make time. So we have the time that we have. And so we have to butt things out to put our business in. If our business is new in our lives and we don't have a routine, we don't have a space for it yet. But it can go too far the other way where we're taking everything out. We're taking out hobbies. We're taking out physical activity, right? We're taking out time with friends. And you're right. You're going to burn out. And also, you kind of forget why you're working so hard in the first place, right? It's just a really bad habit to get into, to completely cut everything out, because it just gets easier and easier to only do business, only do work and not do other things. It gets so easy to go down that slippery slope. So we still got to have something, right? We got to have something. Okay. To answer your question on what you can ask, you can participate in the conversation that we're currently having. So the conversation today is biz life balance and how not to be swallowed whole by your business. And the question on the table right now is, do you ever feel like your business swallows you whole, or do you have a fear that going all in on your business means you'll be swallowed whole? All right. So thriving. I feel like I'm not doing enough for my business. Interesting. But also trying to balance, because this year is super traumatic due to pregnancy. Yeah, it's a lot. And I'm not gonna open up that conversation topic because it is so big and it is so triggering, but just know that I'm with you in solidarity on that, okay? What does this one say? Annabelle, I feel you bought a new home and moved twice last year. Yeah, you had a huge year. Plus the just all the stuff around, like getting your house made and all the permits and the getting it here. Like, it was a lot, right? Whoop. Okay. Thriving. I'm really struggling to create a useful routine. Partner, I just added going back to the gym in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was like, what is MWF? I was like, male with female? Like, are you describing your partnership? Got it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. One of the things that I do now, so I started powerlifting in the summer, right? And I was going twice a week, and then I bumped it up to 3 times a week. Oh man, this is not staying in my ear. Then I bumped it up to 3 times a week. And then now I'm doing 4 times a week. And it's funny because like my 4th class that I added in is a Wednesday morning, and it is hard after a powerlifting session to do a full day of work, but I'm working on building up my endurance, right? Building that up, because the body you will expand your endurance. That's something I remember. I was working with a business coach years ago when I first started, and I was saying like how tired I was feeling in that. And don't get me wrong, she was the first to say, you need to take things out of your calendar. You look like you're about to die. Like, stop. Because I'm like textbook overdriving myself, right? I've had to learn to put those fail safes in. But back then she said this that really stuck with me, which is that you will build your endurance. You will build your capacity. It will expand. Some people talk about like the window of tolerance. Like, you'll build your endurance and capacity for the things you do. I've talked about this before too, where I said like I used to do 30 calls a week, and I still probably do that much at least. But people always get shocked by that. And I'm like, it's actually not that much when you kind of break it down day by day. But if that seems like too much, start with where you're at and just start adding on a little bit. It's kind of like when I go to powerlifting and I just add on 2.5 pound plates, not 5 and 10 pound plates, just 2.5 pounds. Let's just get a little bit more and build that out, right? Also, tell me why I didn't bring water. Hang on, what was that? Oh, the 4 times a week. Yes. Of course, right now I've hurt my knees. So, my knees are all hurt. And I think I tore my knee even worse because I've been really struggling with my knee the past couple weeks. So I've just been doing upper body. But I did hit a new bench press PR of 110 pounds, trying to get up to 120. So I want to compete and I want to get a chance at winning a medal. Okay. Oh, you guys. Megan, one of my biggest biz life balance struggles is having my kids home more due to illness lately. Yeah, I've got a few folks in the community who are experiencing that. I had a full-blown autistic meltdown a few days ago because I was so overstimulated by the end of the day. And listen, can I just say, I mean, that sucks, and I hate that for you, but also that's okay, right? Even like today, right? Like when I was getting ready, like the sound of this engine thing running and running and running is making my brain go bonkers. And also there's like exhaust coming in. and I'm getting things ready. I'm working on some stuff, and I can feel the like anxiety and stress. Like I can just feel it all is becoming too much, and it's raising, raising, raising. And I had to just be like, okay, Linz, let's take a moment. Let's reframe. All right. It's just noise. You can put this on. All right. You can throw on some my music. Right. It's just a YouTube live with your biz buddies. Like, just take a beat here. And so, and I'm not saying that to belittle what you went through. I'm just saying it's okay to say it's just overstimulation and I'm having a bit of a meltdown. Like, it doesn't have to mean anything, I think is what I'm saying. These things don't have to mean anything. Even when you're burnt out, it doesn't have to mean anything, friends. Oh, I'm a terrible person. I'm bad at adulting. I'm a bad business owner. I don't know how to balance things. Like, we make things mean things. You can also just say, whoop, I pushed a little too hard and I'm burnt out. What can I, let me take some rest. And in a couple of days, I'll think about what I could do to catch it next time. Right. Like, just don't make things mean things, Learning that on days when they're home, I need to ask for more assistance and work less. Yes, exactly. You're just like, okay, this is what I need. I love that. That's hard. Yes. Yeah, it is. It's brutal. It's brutal. Okay. So let's talk about this whole thing. All right. Excuse me, my nose is running. It's a whole thing right now. It's a whole thing right now. Nose is running, my throat. I have no water. The noise. What's happening? Watch me have an overstimulation meltdown right here with you all. Annabelle, find peace in the chaos. Yeah, that's something I had to learn to do in overstimulated, couldn't leave situation. Exactly. Find peace in the chaos. And that doesn't mean turn chaos into peace. It means try to slow the mind down. Find where you can grab some peace. Find where you can reframe, shift a perspective, take some pressure off yourself for things to mean anything. Just try to find that peace and then like lean into it. Go, okay, this is the direction I'm going, because it's so easy to lean into the chaos and let it take us out, spiral down into it. Who was that, Annabelle, when you and I were talking the other day and I was like, hang on, let's take a break. Let's shake it off, because I can see the spiral starting. I can see it starting. And we have to get really good at seeing or feeling when that spiral is there. I mean, listen, you know that I get real personal on these things. Tell me if you've ever had this, right? Where I feel like internally I'm screaming. And I know this is a neurodiverse thing. There's so much and things are not slowing down. And I just feel internally like I'm screaming. And all I want to do is just scream. I'm not going to let myself fall into that spiral. Instead, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to move I'm going to move to a different environment, right? Do I need to walk? Do I need to lay down for a few minutes and close my eyes in the dark, right? Finding peace in the chaos. Try not to lean into the spiral that's right there and wants to pull you down. Try to lean out into some kernel of peace. What do you need right now? And lean into that so you can regulate. Does that make sense? What does this say? RE meltdown. I got in the car and just screamed and screamed. Like, sometimes you do that. There are times where I've screamed into a pillow for sure. I don't like to do that because it hurts my throat. I don't want to hurt myself, but like sometimes I'll just scream into a pillow, or I just move and I like dance fight. Like, I'll be like, right? Or I throw on a song and I just move my body in a really erratic ways because I got to move the energy through me, the anxiety and tension through me. I get that. Yeah, I love the idea of not making it mean anything. I'm not a bad mom or whatever. No, I'm an autistic mom and overstimulation sucks. Yes. Neutrality, baby. Neutrality. Jessica, I also tend to like the life part more than the work. Fantastic. Good. You should. And I'm like, okay, I promise I'm going to get to my notes right away. We're going to talk about that right now after I read this one comment or two comments. Still trying to get good space to work from. Typing from my bed now. Partner's parents tend to watch game shows downstairs and noise carries. Yeah, I know headphones can will help. Do you know the ones I got? I got these guys. There's 3 sizes, and I only have my small ones here. They don't quite fit. My other ones are better. But I will find the link for them and share them in the Facebook group. I don't remember what they're called right now, but they're not the, those ones. Oh, where are they? Oh, sweet. Look at that. Do I have my bigger ones here? I do have my big ones here. Sweet. I can change. They're not the what are they called? My brain isn't working right now. They're not the super popular ones that you see everywhere, because those don't work for me. They're round and they just fall out of my ears. These ones have, they're more of a oval rectangle shape versus a circle, and I friggin' love them. They're also made from like recycled plastics. I will find them. I put the link in the Facebook group. They are fantastic. Get yourself some of these because my senior father with bad hearing also watches TV at full blast while also playing on TikTok on his phone. And there's something about the TikTok on the phone that just carries in the house, and it just like, so I get it. Noise is my thing. Noise is my thing. Yeah, slow it down, breathe slowly. Yeah, keep lengthening the breath. Slows the heart rate, calms the nervous system. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, yeah, loops. Thank you. So I don't use loops. It's the loops that don't work. Thank you, friends. Yeah. I'm like the circle ones. They don't work for me. I've tried so many times. They just I put them in my ear and they just fall out. It's the worst. But these ones, what the heck are they called? I'll find them. They're a different shape and I love them so much. And they feel good. The other loops I found really hard. They're just really soft. They just feel good. Okay. The burnout cycle and why entrepreneurs get stuck. Let's talk about this. So, common signs of burnout, first of all, exhaustion, lack of motivation, resentment toward your business, right? One of the biggest things with burnout is we need to recognize our burnout signs, but more importantly, are pre-burnout signs, right? What is your it didn't go in the hot cocoa, but it did fall on the floor. What are your pre-burnout signs, right? So like for me, I know when I want to cry all the time. Like I can feel this in me. I feel like if anyone says something to me, even like critical or like even to like joke around, like but it's like making fun of me as a joke, like I will start crying. I know that when I've got tears that are right there ready to go, I don't have a good handle on things. I am pushing myself too far. I also get physical sensations. Like I get like a burning feeling in my chest. My eyes get really heavy and squinty, right? So I know when I'm overworking myself. The other thing is, again, watching the stims. When I start rubbing my forehead a lot, I know I'm really stressed out, right? So, what are the stims? What are the signs? What are the physical symptoms? What are the emotional? I know when I start having nightmares about my restaurant days that I am stressed, right? How do you know when you're pushing it too far? What are your signs? Let's hear them. Oh, I'm just reading about your earplugs, about the using them in Vegas. Yeah, I use them. I use them all the time when I'm going grocery shopping, right? Because sometimes this is too much of a sensory thing for me, and so I just like the little earplugs. Yeah, I use them all the time. Yeah, the people playing videos, talking about like things on like airplanes or like transit. People play, especially like kids, play cartoons or games on their phones without headphones. Ma'am. Oh my gosh. Oh, what are you saying about loops? They don't even work when they're in. Yeah, they are half noise direction of AirPods. Interesting. I don't have them here, but I have the Skull Candy wireless ear pod things that like stick into my ear, then they wrap around. I like the kind that wrap around because I move a lot, then they just fall out. Literally can't hear a thing. I love them. Sometimes I'll put those in, and that's all I wear is just those. Yes, yes. Working on timing for meditation is such too, but at least I'm able to work on rebuilding from them. Okay, listen, meditation could be as simple as closing your eyes, sitting still, and taking 3 real slow, deep breaths. Right? I mean, I guess maybe that's not meditation. Maybe that's more nervous system regulation. But I mean, even like 1 minute, 2 minute of just closing your eyes, taking some deep breaths, and just finding your breath. Finding, this is going to sound like such a cliche. Finding your center. Finding the peace in the chaos. That's all it is, and it doesn't have to take long. Doesn't have to take long. A trick I like to use for establishing meditation practice is 1 minute morning and night. There you go. And then build up. Yeah, it's the dedication to the practice, not the perfect meditation. Exactly. This exactly. Probably the crying thing for you. Yeah, the crying thing for the signs of burnout. I have green, yellow, red signs for burnout prevention. I love how you're talking about physical, emotional thoughts, actions. Exactly. Because it's all of it, right? It's all of it. Savara, my signs, I get tension in my neck and back. I rock back and forth. My eyes burn as if I'm really tired. Yes. I have my FND movement symptoms and any signal of any stress response. What is FND movement symptoms? Just instead of me trying to figure that out, can you just tell me what that means? Sorry. It's probably going to be really obvious. I'm realizing that I'm likely a likely disassociated system, OSDD, and I can tell a little is in charge when super small stuff shuts me down. I feel like I can't talk. Yeah. Like the little things. Like, have you seen like those memes where it's like, I just saw one the other day when everything is like you're exhausted and everything's going on. And it was this person, she was trying to pick up a towel off the floor. And she kept reaching and kept missing it. And she's like, like, or like when you're already like at your edge of your point of tolerance and like your pocket catches on a door handle and you're just like, yeah, probably we gotta address some things. um Hang on. Red, cannot take a break from work, thinking about it all the time, doing more and more. Yes. Okay, I love that. Functional neurological disorder. Okay, thank you. Functional neurological disorder. Burnout signs, specific signs. Feeling like work is the only thing that will calm me down. Huge red flag. That's interesting. Okay, so we got a couple people talking about that you can't take a break from work. Annabelle, not doing yoga or walking and going straight to work. Yep. If I am working into the night, if I lose love for things I love, when I suddenly realize my life is all work and no social. You see? Oh my gosh, it happens so fast, the swallowed whole, eh? I'm going to leave that one for right now. So that's the same thing for me. Like if I like I had a period a couple weeks ago, I was so busy. I missed 2 of my 3 gym sessions and I was like, nah, this isn't okay. So yeah, when we get right to work, when we stop doing things that we enjoy, right? When we get annoyed by doing things we enjoy because it's taking away time from work, right? So I have a book here that I thought was really interesting. I was looking up some fun resources. This is an interesting one. If you haven't had a chance to read it yet, it's the E-Myth Revisited: Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And I have that one partnered with, hang on, where is it? Hang on, wait, is that the one that I wanted? Okay, you know what? I have it in the resource somewhere, but I don't have it here, so I will find it. But this idea of building ourselves a job, let's talk about this for a second, okay? What does that mean when I say to you, most entrepreneurs, especially service-based entrepreneurs, they build themselves a job, not a business? How do you define a business versus being self-employed? You have a job that you just happen to be the boss of, but it's still a job, right? How do you define that? Because one of the reasons that I will say this, in the beginning years of a business, right? You got sort of those first couple of years, those first 2 to 3 years. I could talk about those as being your hot mess years. All right. That's where you're really just figuring out your market, your offerings, your pricing, your messaging, your marketing, your sales funnels. Like you're figuring all that out. You're building your networks, you're building your visibility, you're getting familiar with your brand and establishing your brand. These things all take time, right? They don't just happen overnight. Tell me in the comments if you're one of these sort of statistics, but I always tell people like 99% of entrepreneurs rebrand in the first couple of years of their business. This is why I always say don't spend a ton of money on branding in your early years because it's going to change. It's going to change. The amount of entrepreneurs I work with who completely change their business in the first couple of years because they realize it's not quite right or it's not what they really wanted to do, it's what they thought they should do, right? So those first few years are your hot mess years. But by year 3, you should really be getting into a pretty strong groove. You know your market, your offerings are nailed down, your marketing, messaging, sales funnels are starting to get really nailed down. And you should be now getting to a point where you've got consistent revenue coming in and you're able to now start outsourcing and hiring. And that's when we want to start thinking about, and honestly, you may be there for another 2 years. Maybe not, depends how fast you grow. But once we start getting to those like 6 figures, we're now getting to the $80,000, $100,000. We really have, like, we know our market, we know our sales funnels, we know our marketing. We have these systems and things that work. Now we're going, okay, how do I now move into becoming a business, not just my own boss and my own employee, right? What does it look like to then turn into a business? And I want to read your comments, then we're going to talk about that. Hang on, I'm just reading your comments here. Yes, Annabelle, when you hire others so your business can do more than your capacity. Exactly. When we move into business, it's when we are either hiring, it depends on your business model. In some cases, you're hiring others, or you're outsourcing or hiring subcontractors. In other instances, you might be moving into some sort of digital product or program or some sort of online business. A lot of service-based entrepreneurs move into an online. It typically is like you go like agency route, or you go where you become the boss and you hire people to do what you used to do, right? Or you move into some sort of more sort of passive revenue streams, not meaning you don't have to work, meaning you're not directly doing the work. You're not trading direct time for money, right? Visionary, the person who's making things happen at a high level, but you're no longer doing the actual physical work, right? And so that's where this, I don't know if you've heard the stat before, but this one, it shocked me, and I also totally understood it. And that is for most service-based entrepreneurs, they never bust through the $50,000 a year sort of ceiling. And it's because they cannot get out of self-employment mode into business ownership mode, into owning and running a business, right? And so if you're, as long as you're a self-employed person, you're always going to be limited to your capacity because you're the one doing the work, right? And especially if you're doing both the business development, the admin and accounting about, business or operation stuff, right? And admin stuff. And then you're also delivering the work. Like you can only do so much, right? So we have to think, okay, let me spend some time figuring this out. And now how am I shifting into being a business owner, not the self-employed, not doing the work? I say all this generally, right? Because there's some people who will start a marketing agency right from the hop. They have the money to pay for employees. They have the investment capital, like they're ready to go. Other people, and a lot of times people that are here in our community, that's not their reality. They're like, they are their business, right? They are the coach, the trainer, the branding person, the copywriter, the graphic designer, whatever. And so what you got to watch for is, do I have a bigger vision for my business beyond me just getting paid to do the work that I do, right? Because we want you to be getting out of the position of being paid to do the work you do into having other people do that work and you do other things, right? I say that, and I say that doesn't have to also be your future. Some people, they don't want that. They only want to be self-employed. I think of a lot of like bookkeepers and accountants. They have no desire to do that. They just want to have their clientele and they want to do their bookkeeping work. And then they want to go home at the end of the day. They have no vision of having a bigger business, right? I even think of like where I go to the gym, they have their gym, they have themselves and their trainers, they show up, they do the work, they go home. There's not necessarily like this big vision to have a whole chain and franchise and da-da-da-da, right? So you don't have to have that bigger vision. But then if we do know that I am just wanting to stick in that self-employment model, we have to go, okay, so then where can I optimize and streamline things and automate things? Like where can I take some burden off of me and also be really clear? Because if you don't want to have that, if you don't want to build a bigger business or maybe a personal brand or whatever, there's also a lot of things you don't have to do. Like you don't have to worry so much about your online presence in terms of being found on Google, yes, but you don't have to go into like content creator mode. You don't have to do all these things that people who want something bigger need to think about. I want to hit pause for a second and get your thoughts on that so far. Does that make sense? The difference between self-employed and business owner, and understanding what you want so that you can structure your business and your business activities in a way that supports you. Because one of the ways we don't burn out is we stop doing so friggin' much. And so let's get clear on what you actually need to do and what you probably don't need to do. So I'm going to give you all a moment to put some comments in. Savara, I'm in the hot mess years. Yep, exactly. Everyone goes through it. And that's the thing, right? Remember what I said? Don't make things mean things. I'm in my hot mess years. That's the years you're in. It's a hot mess. Let it be a hot mess. When I first started my business, I was a networking company, right? My company was called the Networking Boutique, and I was all about showing entrepreneurs how to grow faster with networking. Guess what? Entrepreneurs did not give a crap. I was working exclusively with people in corporate spaces and doing corporate workshops. I was like, I hate this. No, I love the people I worked with. But I was doing like random things, like helping you with your self-confidence, helping you with your public speaking skills, helping you, like I was teaching your teams how to network, like real estate agents and their teams how to network. Like it was like, that's what I was doing. And I loved it. It was fun. But I'm like, dude, I want to get people mobilized to build their own businesses. This isn't working. And so I spent 2 years figuring like basically smacking my head against the wall trying to make this work, and I realized this isn't working, and I had to pay attention to what people were actually coming to me for, and that was for sales and marketing help, right? And so it's like, all right, you all know networking is still the number one marketing strategy I'm going to get you to do, but I had to reposition myself to talk about things that they were caring about, right? But my point is, 2 years of going back and forth. Let me try this offering. Let me try this marketing strategy. Let me try this type of sales call. Like the only way to figure it out is to go through the activities and just pay attention to what you're getting wrong and what you're getting right, what's working and what's not working. And even in those moments, we don't make it mean anything. Your whole business is a science experiment in the first couple of years, right? Don't make it mean anything. Just take the data and move on. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? All right. Self-employment for me was my freelancing. Sure, I could decide when and how I worked, but it wasn't about being a thought leader or leader at all. My business is about building community and fostering change. Yeah, Megan, I know for you, self-employment isn't enough. I know for you from our conversations, from how you already show up in the world, right? Like you've got more and bigger things you want to do. Because that's the other thing, friends. When you think of your business, and I talk about this so much, right? Your business is a tool for liberating yourselves and others from systems of oppression. It is a tool for building the lifestyle that supports you. It is a tool for self-expression, for like a stepping stone in a lot of ways into other things. Your business may not even be like what's the Pokemon thing, like the final evolution. Like it may not even be the final thing. Your business might be a stepping stone that gives you connections, experience, a platform, a brand, whatever, money that helps you step into something else entirely someday. Right? Or maybe you use the money that you get to invest in other people's businesses. Like there's so many things you can do. Right? Like, and I think that's the other thing too. And I don't want to completely blow you all out of the water, because a lot of you right now are hyper focused on figuring out what works and what doesn't. So this is like, 5-10 years down the road. Like this is coming down the road for you, but you don't know where you're going to end up going and what opportunities are going to come your way. Right? So right now, be in the messy middle, but just remember that we have to also be considering that at some point I have to get out of the weeds of my business and think bigger if that's something that you want. All kinds of muscle. Oh, I'm going to go back to just the comment talking about today here. So I've been in business 4.5 years and I've rebranded 3 times. Yeah, exactly. Right. I feel like I'm still in my hot mess stage. I've worked on this for years with minimal revenue and a few clients so far. Okay. And so this is a really great point, because the entrepreneurs that will succeed the fastest are the ones that tune into something isn't working and let go of it. All right. We try to make things work when they're clearly not working way too long. We go way too far down these paths of things not working. And we just keep thinking, if I work harder, it'll be this. If I work harder, this will happen. No, we have to get really tuned in to how things are landing and how things are working. I will change up my what do you do statement for, like, if I go to like these networking things every Wednesday, and I will change it up every week, and I just keep refining it every week. Nope, that didn't land. Nope, that didn't land. Nope, that didn't land. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. I don't say the same thing over and over and over and over. When I notice that people start following me on social, signing up for my lead magnet, okay, I'm getting closer. I'm getting more people signing up for my lead magnet, more people following me on social and emailing me. Okay, I'm getting closer. So that's something that I just want to just beam straight into your brain from my brain, friends. If you're continuing to do things that aren't working, it's not going to work. You have to be so tuned in to when things don't land and try something different, try something different, try something different. Okay. That's what I see. Like I'll talk to people all the time who will say, I've been in business for 5 years and I'm not making money. Like it's been so long, I should be making money. Well, but based on what? Show me what works and what doesn't. If you don't know what works and what doesn't at this point, that tells me you're not changing enough and trying enough things, right? And I know that's a really vague statement, because like without actually being in your business, I wouldn't be able to point out it's this, and this, right? But you have to get really good at sitting down and going, okay, when I say this, nothing happens. I can't keep saying that. I have to change what I say. When I try to pitch this as a service or a product, no one buys it. Okay, I'm clearly missing the mark. What are my customers actually asking for? Right? Thank you for the vulnerable share, because again, a lot of people are like that, but we have to be getting real about what's not working and thinking about why and how we can change our strategy. Jessica, I'm not sure what the difference is. Building a business to seems to think about longevity, strategy, and vision. Plus, a job is daily tasks, doing things that are not as cohesive with vision. Yeah, exactly, right? Like the the self-employment is the doing the work. Like, you think this is what I would pay an employee for, or if I worked at a company, this is what I would get paid to do, right? And yes, selling is a part of that, right? If you've ever had a sales job, even selling, that's still something that you would potentially pay an employee to do, right? And so just understanding right now, is this something that I would pay someone to do, or I would get paid to do at a company? And if so, then you're self-employed. And that, listen, that's not a good thing or a bad thing. That doesn't mean anything. That's just where you're at. And if that's where you're at in your business, then that's where you're at in your business. It's okay. Stay there, right? Continue to refine until you get your marketing and sales funnels down pat, and you know what works and what doesn't. And then go, okay, now that I've got good money coming in, I'm making 10 grand, a month. Okay, great. Now, or even at 5 grand a month is not quite enough, I don't think, to start putting a lot of money out. But if you can get even to 7 grand a month, now you got some money to play with, right? That's when we start talking pre-scale. Amy, a call about how to transition to that, particularly how and when to outsource work with your bootstrapping would be really useful. Yeah, that's a really good one to bring into the hot seat business coaching. If you all aren't part of the ICK-FREE sales membership yet, let me grab that for you. Hang on one second. Whoops. Oh my gosh. There we go. Like, my fingers aren't on the home keys. If you're not already part of the ICK-FREE membership, come and join. This is a great question to talk about in the hot seat business coaching, because then I can ask you follow-up questions and give you an answer specifically for you. And then folks who also want to watch the replay will also get the benefit from that question. Okay. Oh my God, how is it 11 o'clock already? We've been talking so long. Also, I have to make sure. I think I have an appointment right away. Try to set things up so I'm more business owner. I can't sustain one-on-one work, even if I could get it. I'm on a shoestring and trying to create sustainable products. Trying to set things up so I'm more business owner. I can't sustain. Whoops, getting a phone call. Sustain one-on-one work, even if I could get it. I'm on a shoestring and trying to create sustainable products. Yeah, so that's a bigger conversation. That's a bigger conversation. So the self is the focus on self-employment versus the business project is the focus. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because when you move into business owner mode, that's when you're like, your networking is different. You're networking to look at different opportunities, different collaborations. You're potentially creating content, or paying someone to create content, again, depending on what you're working with for budget. But it's more so about advancing the vision and the goals of the business, not doing the actual work that needs to be done in the business. Can attest, networking really works, especially if you're a coach. Yeah, networking is crucial for everything. Everything. Spent more than I've earned, but working on a product that will get me more. Okay, cool. Hang on. What's happening with my music? I'm hearing voices. Hang on one second while I keep going through the comments here. Yes, it's part of why I've always had such bad work-life balance, because my business feels like self-expression. It feels so good. I want to do all the time. Got to remind myself that other parts of my life feel good too. I love that comment. And let's talk about that, because, hang on, it's so loud. Because I love working. Like, right now, I've been really doing a lot with my podcast. I will just randomly record a podcast and I'll like spend 3 hours like editing it and getting it up and whatever. And it's like, I love that stuff. And it's not something I've really ever made space for before. And I'm doing it more so now because I love it so much. And so, like, that part of that self-expression, I actually don't really consider that like working. That's a part of my self-expression. That's a part of the things I want to talk about, right? So I think also understanding when it's like work, it's revenue generating, it's the essential busy work, it's the things we have to do, versus things that is that expression, because our businesses, for a lot of us, are an extension of who we are and our purpose on this earth and what we want, our legacy we want to leave. So you know what I mean? Like, I kind of compartmentalize that as something else, and that's something I do kind of for fun. So it's okay to use these things as self-expression and just, make sure that you're being clear on what is revenue generating and essential busy work and what is not. Give me a second because I totally lost track of friggin' time. We might have to do a part 2 on this. Okay, good. I have till 11:30. Okay, I got some time. Woo! I got some time. I'm recording a podcast. Okay, so that's this first thing. And that's where that E-Myth Revisited, like that's where I thought that would be a really good resource for you because it just kind of takes a look at how we keep building ourselves jobs and not a business. And that's a really important mindset shift to make. And I would say that for you right now, because a lot of you are in self-employed stage, hot mess self-employed stage. That's fine. That's where you're at. It's essential. But I want you right now to write down a question for yourselves. And I want you to ask yourselves, ultimately, when I am outside of doing the day-to-day work and I am thinking of moving the goals and the vision of the business forward, what do I want to pay other people to do? How do I want to potentially take what I do and turn it into some sort of automated, there's so many things, automated process. You could, if you've got a unique system, you can license it to other people to use. You can create a training and certification thing around it. There's so many things you can do. You can train people to do what you do and hire them to do what you do, right? So I want you to kind of give some thought this weekend into like what you want to move into as a business owner beyond just the doing of the work, right? Okay, cool. I'm just when you guys have some comments going on here. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is shifting that mindset that you are not your business. Because you know how I just said, I do these things for fun, doing the podcast, doing whatever. I do them for fun. They're a fun thing for me to do. I also have to make sure to remember that it's not all I do. This is why I intentionally have other hobbies, whether I'm learning ASL or learning ukulele or going to powerlifting or having game nights with my friends or like drawing in a coloring book or whatever, right? It's like you have to also remember that as much as it's an expression of who you are and it is a part of who you are, it's not all that you are, right? And so I would love for you to throw in the comments right now and just tell me like, I don't know, two other things you are besides business owner. And I don't mean mother or parent. I don't mean like your identity. I mean like ways that you show up in the world, things that interest you, things that excite you. What are the other facets of you? Not necessarily your identity, but the other facets of you besides just this person who has this really cool business. Annabelle, I want to build and grow a team that can bring value and evolve what I offer. Yeah, hell yeah. So there's another book that I wanted to recommend here, and I'm going to wait for you all to share your answers. And it's called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. When we think about burning out or we think about being swallowed whole by our businesses, you know that I talk all the time about reducing your busy work, like really getting real on, is this moving the needle in my business? Is this moving me forward? Then why are you doing it? Don't do it. I talked if you want to just be self-employed and don't really want to go into something bigger. Again, there's a lot of things you don't need to do because it's not going to serve your goals. So I think also, and again, if you were here for Big Bold 2025 at the beginning of the year, we talked a lot about that, right? Like looking at your year ahead and what is your main single driving force this year and what supports that and what can you let go of. I think Annabelle, you went through that, right? Where you're like, okay, I realized I have to take things off my plan for this year, right? So, when we think about this thing, this disciplined pursuit of doing less in your business specifically, where are you doing things that you don't need to do? Like it's not going to make or break your business. And all it's doing right now is sucking you into this like bottomless pit of work that honestly doesn't need to be done. Right? Like even there's things like y'all know I love networking, but like this year I've got some pretty specific goals. And so I'm like, you know what? As much as I want to go to this cool thing and meet new people, if I'm being honest, I don't really need to meet more people for this specific thing right now. I'm actually looking for that. Or I don't really need to go to this because I'm kind of full up over here. I can just skip it, even though it's something I would typically go to. Right. So really just looking at where are you doing things that honestly you don't really need to do right now, right? And this is why it's important, especially again, if you're in the membership, that you're coming to the monthly action planning sessions, because I don't want you to get on autopilot and you can't plan a whole year in one day, right? Let's go month by month and go, okay, what's my focus this month? What do I need to do? What can I just let go of for this month, right? Oh, what's this? I'm a singer and a good friend. I love this. I want you to give me something else besides good friend, because I don't want it to be determined through how, like, your usefulness to other people. I would love to hear your hobbies. Like, I do powerlifting and I'm learning ukulele and I'm learning American Sign Language, right? Like what are some of like your interests and your hobbies? You know, I do a lot of like friend hangs, like coffees and lunches and brunches and games nights, right? So what are the ways that you express yourself or live your life, but not in relation to how you show up for other people? Make sense? I'm a musical nerd. Yes, in love with musical show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I started to watch that. I got to get back to it. And I'm a sweet but still smutty romance reader. Yes. I don't know what that was. Annabelle, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm an avid yogi of 18 years, and I live 1 foot in the connected space. I'm also an event creator. I create yoga series and events to help people feel better and set intentions. Heck yes. Yes. So again, sister and aunt, I want that out. We're not talking about how you show up for other people. I want to hear about your interests and you as a person. And you're part of several alternative lifestyles that bring you joy. Fantastic. Fantastic. I also bring people together in business to create events. We are better together. Of course we are. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Also a huge fan of fantasy and science fictions. Me too. Especially ones with really excellent world building. Heck yes. I'm rewatching Legion right now. If you haven't watched it, it's friggin' amazing world building. Yes, 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 yes. Who doesn't love a little smutty romance? Actually, one of my clients and business friends, Nadine Chile, got me into it. Yeah. I love to karaoke and carve my own rubber stamps. That's so friggin' cool. Forest jogs and walks, drink coffee, sketch, beach fire karaoke. Please invite me next time. Jessica, where do you live? I want to come to beach fire karaoke. Okay. So again, one of the ways that we avoid being swallowed whole by our business is to remember that we are multifaceted people with lots of interests and things that we do, not specifically how you show up for others, as I said, but what are the things you like to do and where are you carving out time for that, right? And I'm not saying, go and like become a ukulele master when you're trying to get a business off the ground, but I'm just saying, where can we do, you hear me say this all the friggin' time, right? Stop working so much, go have a nap, go play, go learn something, go hang out with friends. Like the whole point of being real about what moves your business forward and what doesn't, and taking off the things that don't, is not so you can fill it with more work. It's so you can fill it with your life. All right. So next, practical strategies for work-life balance. Let's talk about that. Okay, so time blocking and boundaries. I feel like I'm going to get that blog. I know I shared it last time. I'm going to share it again. Blog. So I have a really simple blog on time blocking. And the whole point of time blocking is to put in, hang on, where is it? Is to put in your personal life stuff first and then put in business stuff. Okay. You got to put in those non-negotiables, those life things first. And that's where we get really real, because we typically put our business stuff in first and then try to squeeze in our life. Whereas if you put your life in first, you go, oh, I only have this many hours to work in my business. I better be really intentional and really strategic with what I'm doing and not fart around on things that don't matter. Right. Naps. I love a good nap. Love a good nap. I've been like working a lot. Well, you all know it's because I've been getting the ICK-FREE sales system up and running for y'all. And so it's a lot of work on top of the work I'm already doing. And literally like in between client sessions, I'm just napping and then coming back to the next session, then going for a nap and then going to powerlifting and then going for a nap. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yes, hang on. Where's this thing? What do we got here? Oh, this is just y'all having conversation. Okay, I'll let you keep having your conversation. Okay, so time blocking is a really essential habit to get into. Do you time block? Tell me in the comments. I've got another really great book here for you. It's called Deep Work. And actually, it was a client that recommended this. I don't remember who, but someone recommended this to me. Deep Work, Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. time blocking helps you put parameters around your time, around your work, right? And it's also great for helping you, again, get real. You've heard me say get real like 50 times in this podcast or on this shop talk, because we need to get real about how long things take. We need to get real about things not meaning things. We need to get real about what works, what doesn't. We need to be real. We need to be tuned in and getting real about what's going on. And so this whole thing with time blocking is it's going to make you get real with how long things actually take, right? You might be like, write a blog 1 hour, and then you're like an hour in and you've barely done your keyword research. Okay. So either you need to give yourself more time to do blog. So you need to not time block maybe 3 1-hour slots over the week, right? Or you need to go, I need to make keyword research way faster. I need to not be so perfectionist on this and just find a keyword and get to work, right? So the time blocking also helps you get real with how you're spending your time and where you're hemorrhaging time and where you got to tighten it up or give yourself more time to do things. Hang on 1 second. I'm between reading notes and reading comments. Hang on. I do not time block exactly, but I think it'd be really helpful. I tend to go with my energy has capacity for. Yeah, and that's also valid, right? Here's the thing too is, and again, this works for me. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but the more that I schedule, time block, plan, structure myself, the more I can like see things. I can see trends. Like, okay, this is a really busy week, so I already know next week I need to take some things off my plate, right? Or sometimes I'll look ahead a couple of weeks and I'll put in blocks where nobody can book appointments in the future because I'll need some days to just do nothing and fart around, right? So like the more that I structure, the more I can keep an eye on my capacity, the more I can guard my capacity when I know that like I've got these things I'm working on and I need time to work on those. So I'm going to clear off my calendar, or not clear off. I'm going to block it off so nobody can book any appointments, right? So like, yeah, the more you time block, the more you are structured. Hopefully that will help you be on top of that and create buffers for your capacity, because you might be able to kind of predict when your capacity is going to fall off. And again, maybe not. Maybe it's a total crapshoot and you have no idea what your capacity is going to be like day to day. But I will say that if that's the case, do less. Like you really need to focus on only the things that are going to move your business forward, and you need to just scrap other things. If you want to create content, you don't have to be everywhere. If you want to be on social, you don't have to be everywhere. If social doesn't drive business, honestly, you could probably do it barely at all, right? Like you have to just get real again on what's moving the needle and what I can scrap, because I have to save time and capacity for the things that matter. Does that make sense? Like it's the saving capacity for the things that matter that you need to get real good at. I don't time block, but I do strategically schedule meetings so that I have blocks carved out in between meetings for work. It feels less strict and more, oh, I guess I have some time, Yes. I'm going to suggest if you time block, you do it at least. It's like when I was macro tracking my proteins and fats and carbs, because I was wanting to really have it impact my sports performance. I don't track as much anymore, but the tracking for those couple of months really helped me understand how much protein I was getting, where I was not getting enough fat or getting too much fat. Like it was useful for me to be able to see how that nutrition reflected in my sports performance, but I don't need to do it now because I kind of got it down. So even if you time block at least for a while so that you can start paying attention to how long things take you to do, right? And where the leaks are in your processes, so that you get into a rhythm, and then you can stop time blocking if you want. But just, I want you to be tuned into how long things take, right? And not have the overwhelm of sitting at a computer when you have an hour of time and going, what should I do? Well, I know what I got to do. I got to do this because I've got a deadline or whatever. Anyways, optional if you want. It's something to think about. I've been variable in time blocking. I definitely schedule life stuff first, but have been less good with Pomodoro style getting work done. Definitely schedule life stuff first, but I've been less good. Are you wanting to get better with the Pomodoro stuff, or are you just saying you don't enjoy it? Love me a Pomodoro. I also do a ton of body doubling with people. Like I do, like sometimes I'll sit here all day and just body double with different like biz friends. Sometimes when I do, it's half days for strategy work or sprints, like a CEO day, right? Like CEO days are also really good. Like once a month. Well, that's our monthly action planning. You should be doing a CEO day at least once a month. What's the month? What am I promoting? What am I selling? What's my marketing strategy? What's my sales strategy? What are the things that are going on? What are my due dates, right? We should be having a CEO day every month. So you work in sprints and then break for 10 minutes to start again, but never stay until it's finished, only the time. Does that mean that you then just add on, like you just pick it up? Like if it doesn't get finished, you just pick it up the next day? What do you do when you don't finish? Well, you guys are sharing book recs. Okay, I love that you're all just sharing book recs. Fantastic. I love it. Yeah. So you want to improve the Pomodoro. So one of the things that I do with Pomodoro too is I like when I'm first starting, if I'm having a hard time focusing, I just do like 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. That's usually all I need to get into something. And then I'll take a quick break and then come back to it. And then I could do like hour-long sprints or 55 minutes, move my body, grab a snack, grab some water, come back. But yeah, whatever your capacity is doing for the day. Yeah, you pick up the next day. I love that. And then what you want to watch for is if, like, let's say that you have I'm going to use the blog example. Let's say you're like, I need to get a blog written today. All right. Or maybe you take it over 2 days because there's the research and writing, then there's the creative. I don't know. Let's say you're going to do that and you say, I'm going to take an hour today and an hour tomorrow to get this thing done and published. And you notice in your first time blocking hour, you don't get as far as you needed to get. That's important to know. Because you got to look again, like I said, why? Am I spending too long on things that don't matter? Am I getting stuck in perfectionist mode? Do I literally just need more time? And so therefore I have to either write fewer blogs in the month or I have to move something else out of my calendar to make space for more blogs, right? So again, when you're running out of time, why are you running out of time? And how are you going to make it so that you're able to get the thing done in the time you need, right? I don't time block in advance. I use timers when I'm working. I need to learn time blocks in advance so I can plan. Exactly. The time blocking is what forces you. That sounds intense. It's what helps support you in keeping you on task. As a business owner, you have so many things to do. And I'm sure you all know things just bleed into the next and the next and the next. And this is how we're working till 8 a.m. and getting nothing done. So the time blocking is going to give you the support for the structure you need to use your time effectively and efficiently and help you track things that are needing to be tightened up. Right. And again, with time blocking, it's not like, let me just do a time block schedule and that's it for life. No, it probably will take you a few months to get into a rhythm because you got to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Right. Like I know, for example, if I have a full day to get work done, I'm not going to sit there for like, you know, 8 hours and work for a full 8 hours. I probably got 4 hours of good work in me, right? And then I'm done. And so I'll know, okay, what are the most important things I do? What's another hour or two of puttering around on things that don't take a lot of mental energy to do, maybe uploading some video, like just like random stuff. And then moving on with my life, right? So time blocking is essential, but it's not an overnight thing. You got to figure it out. Yeah, body doubling is the GOAT. I love it. Yeah, forces you not to go down rabbit holes. Exactly. And allow it to take longer than it. Yes, a sprint makes you go hard and fast and get it done. Exactly. And that's where I use body doubling. I'll be like, all right, let's set a timer for 35 minutes. I will get this done in that 35 minutes and then I'm moving on, right? And it just forces you to stop getting down those rabbit holes. I love it. What is this? LOL. My life is a definition. Man makes plan, God laughs. Yeah, I'm trying to find a balance between planning and going with the flow. I feel like right now I don't plan enough. Okay, Megan, yes. And do less. I'm straight up, do less. This whole man makes plan, God laughs thing, I'll tell you right now, my observation over the years is because people are trying to do way too much. If you give yourself less to do, you'll get it done. And then you can move on with your life. And then you've got pockets of time to deal with the things that go sideways in your life, right? Do less. Look at what you're doing and do less of it. I also get frustrated if I read. Oh, whoops, that's more book. Y'all, I think you need to give me put a tag like book or something like so I don't go into that. I love that you guys are talking about this. I've never heard of body doubling, Annabelle. Well, have you ever joined my co-working sessions? Let me grab the link right now, and then I gotta start wrapping us up here. Okay, so my co-working sessions happen on the last Tuesday of the month, and you're in the membership, so you should know that. I know we just talked about this, but this is actually free for anyone to attend. And we meet for 2 hours on Zoom and we bring our to-do list. We use the Pomodoro technique and we get stuff done. So body doubling is this magical thing where you sit and like parallel work with people. So like I'll be on Zoom, I'll be working, my friends will be working, and you just get stuff done. You set a timer, you say what you're working on, you do the thing, timer goes off, you chit chat, you get back into it. And there's just something about having, and this is so helpful for neurodiverse brains, this parallel play, parallel work for the neurodiverse brain is a lifesaver because you're just sitting there and you're just working and you have someone there. I don't know why, but it like keeps me focused. Right? It's magic. Anyways, body doubling. Call a friend, ask if they want to body double, pick a couple hours that you want to work together. Be very clear on setting a timer for 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you want. Say, this is what I'm working on. And the two of you get to work. Timer goes off, check in, and then go again. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. No, that you're not out of control in the books. Whoops. Oh, hang on. Where did it go? Wherever you said that out of control in the books, you're not out of control in the books. I want to make sure that I'm getting like sucked into reading them. And I'm like, no. You're good. Keep going on the books. I love it. I feel like my brain is breaking. Do less. I need to do enough to keep myself stimulated, but maybe I don't want to strip away all the stuff. Maybe just do a little less and have room for change. Yeah. And Megan, again, I'm like, no. I'm just saying the same thing over. Do less work, do more life. Do less work, do more life. If you haven't done the busy work challenge, I believe it is inside I believe it might be inside the membership. It's definitely inside the ICK-FREE sales system. Go take an audit of where your time goes every week, every month in your business, and go look at which ones actually generate revenue, actually move the business forward. When I say to people, like 80% of the work that a lot of entrepreneurs do is busy work, it literally does nothing to move their business forward. It's just wasted energy and time. And you start to tune in. And I'm not saying that's you, but that's just my observation. Like when you start to tune into where your time is going and the things that literally don't matter, don't do it. Fill that time with revenue generating activities and having a life, doing life stuff. I like a never-ending broken record, I swear. So let's talk about one last thing, and then we're going to go. Hang on. What does this say? I haven't found body doubling as helpful as expected, but I very much appreciate the work. Very much appreciate the work. I don't quite know what that statement means, but if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, right? It's finding what works for you. There are times, hang on. There are times where body doubling works for me and times where it doesn't. I need to actually have no distractions, no people on screen with me and just get down into it. It just depends on where my brain is at that day and what my capacity is too. Okay, so time blocking, building a business that doesn't rely on you 24/7. We're not going to get into that today. Whoa, there's like the big old things are right outside my window. The hydro guys and those little big mechanical arms. Anyways, building a business doesn't rely on you. That's a bigger topic that I would love for us to talk about. Almost like, you know what? That might be something I turn into into like a 5-day chat. I don't know. That's like a pre-scale thing. I'm going to leave that one for right now because building a business doesn't rely on you. This is one of those things where you're not there yet, but you will be there. And so when you are there, I want to say, come back and talk to me. I have this one-on-one package. It's called Sales and Scales. And that's the scales part. That's the people who are beyond just needing to get the engine turned on. They now need to actually think about how their business is going to run without them. But let's talk about reclaiming your personal life and then we're out of here. So reclaiming your personal life. This is, as I said, that whole time blocking piece, why I get you to put your personal life in first, or with Megan, why I say stop working so much if you want, and put other things in. It's why I had you tell me what are some of the things you do besides work, right? Because your business, as I said, will take everything from you. And so you have to remember that you're the boss of your business. Your business works for you. You don't work for your business. I know that's not entirely true right now. You are working for your business a lot. But what I mean by that is that you get to say, no, you know what? I'm not going to go and start a YouTube channel. I don't have time for that. I want to do other things. And it's going to be more work than what it's worth right now, right? Or you get to say, no, I'm not going to start a group program. You know what? I'm going to figure out how this one-on-one coaching thing works or how these one-on-one clients, I'm going to figure out my sales funnel for that and get more paying clients at a higher rate, you know, and and figure that stuff out first. I'll do a group program next year, right? So it's about like understanding that you're going to have so many ideas and there's so many things you can do, and that doesn't mean you need to act on all your ideas and do all the things. And in fact, the more that you do, the more that you're going to get sucked into your business and swallowed whole, right? So start saying no more to your ideas and to things in your business. Write it down on a post-it note, stick it on the wall, save it for another year, okay? Focus on doing less and focus on really mastering your sales, marketing and sales funnels, and then have more time for a life. Don't notice when you resent doing life stuff, and remember that life stuff is stuff that actually matters. Business stuff is stuff that matters for the business, but that's not your life. You're two different things, right? And the life stuff is stuff that I really need you to make the most important. That makes sense? All right, we're going to get out of here because I actually got to go record a podcast with Rachel McEwen's Cosmic Cafe podcast. So I'm going to say really quickly, thank you to all who came today. I've shared some links. I'll probably put those up in the Facebook group for you. One thing that I do want to tell you about really quickly, I'm sorry that I waited till the very last minute here, friends. It's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day today, and I thought I would do a fun little Valentine's Day sale. So for anybody that purchases the ICK-FREE sales system, this weekend, today to this weekend, you're going to get a free 30-minute session with me to review your sales funnels. So we're going to hop on Zoom and we're going to hang out, and I'm going to go through all your lead magnets and your emails and your funnels. And I'm going to go, okay, here's where the leaks are. Here's where you're confusing your customer. Here's where you're putting barriers up for your customer to make a purchase, right? And we'll go through and we'll just make sure everything is really optimized and refined and smooth and easy so people can find you and buy from you. So go check that out. Friends, this has been awesome. I'm going to go ahead into a podcast. Hopefully my mic doesn't pick up all the noise. And yeah, check out that sale. Check out the resources I shared. I'll put them in the Facebook group as well. And then as always, I will see you. Actually, let me share the link. I will see you next month for Shop Talk as well. You can save your seat right here. We'll be back next month. And you can submit what you want me to talk about there, and I'll have a look. And if it works, I will talk about it. Cool. All right, guys. We'll see you all soon. Have a good one. Bye.